Okay, so this is a replay review of Blank's plays. Sorry, Blank plays. He's currently at Guardian 2, and he says that he's quite sure that he's better than most of the people in his bracket. And other people have said that as well about his gameplay. So he mostly plays mid and sometimes plays boss 3 as well. And apparently his pool of mid heroes is Lone Druid, Sniper, Viper, and PA. Also plays a little bit of Meepo. But he says that he's comfortable with most heroes in the mid lane. Cool. So in this replay, he's playing Spectre in the mid lane. So let's check it out.
Prepare for battle.
Okay, so the first thing I've noticed is that for some reason your position 1 troll has 2 observer wards, and you have nothing. Like, you should have at least 1 observer ward with you, so you can place it for like rune control and stuff, starting from like the minute 4. Not just rune control, but also it'll prevent you from getting ganked easily by any of the enemy heroes. And in this game, you have a Spirit Breaker, who I guess is playing pause 4, but I'm not sure. Yeah, but you'll definitely like expect to get ganked by Spirit Breaker. So yeah, it's kind of weird. For some reason, like their pause 1 also has 2 observer wards, and their mid hero does, unless Razor's obviously mid. But yeah, let's see.
30 seconds to battle.
First blood.
Well, if it ain't first bloody blood.
Denied.
Yeah, Razor is pause 1, but still has 2 observers anyways. I'm just gonna rewind a bit because I missed the start of your laning phase.
Denied.
Okay, so you got the range creep. It's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's good that you made sure that the creeps didn't go under the tower. So that's good. I just want to check what bracket the Lina is in. No, that's my medal. Okay. The game coordinator still like okay. We'll check it out later. So I mean, one thing I've noticed is that you still haven't used your spectral dagger at any point, which is fine. But I have seen you miss out on a decent amount of last hits. So usually, like, you want to use the spectral dagger to secure the range creeps. But in your case, since you haven't used it for the range creeps or like anything for that matter, like, I would suggest just using it to secure any sort of creeps. But obviously prioritize the range creeps whenever you can. I mean, what's strange is that the Lina only has like 5 creep kills. Okay.
Who put me out?
Okay, cool. Tusk made a nice rotation.
Got it.
Invisibility.
So I see that the Razor is starting to jungle already from minute 4, which is strange. Like, that's something you would never see in higher MMR games. Like, considering the Lina has only 11 last hits compared to your 22, like, it's very obvious that Razor is a much better matchup against a melee hero. So they should have ideally made that switch, and it would have been a lot more difficult for you to like maintain your farm or even be able to like stay in the lane, for example. So yeah, I mean, so far, like, I think you're doing good with the last hits. There's not really like anything else to like comment on.
Gold for my armor.
The prize is mine.
Gold is a great conductor.
Just gonna fast forward this and maybe try to skip it.
Gold is a great conductor.
Killing spree.
Yeah, see over there, for example, if you just go back a couple of seconds,
Killing spree.
yeah, so at this point, right, like, you can clearly see that there are these 2 creeps, the melee ones, that are almost at like, I want to say like 1/5 of their health pool. So because you're not going to be able to like hit them once and try to kill them, right? So you can already see that the tower is hitting this creep, and it would probably let me see if it like gets okay. You could have like lasted that, I guess, but you didn't. But or like you weren't able to rather. But an easier way to like secure that creep and along like the creep beside that is just by using a dagger, like simply just like using a dagger at this point. And you can aim it at Lena as well, right? For example, to like sort of maximize like the effect of your dagger. So you not only like would be able to secure these two creeps, but you'd also like do like some amount of damage to Lena, just to kind of like pressure her, you know, because right now like it seems like she's the only one that's putting pressure on you. So yeah. I mean, I'm glad like you went to get the arcane rune, but I think you missed like one creep because of that. And not only did you miss like the gold, but you also missed the XP. Just like a small thing that like you wanna like take note of. So like one thing I would do like in addition to this, especially because like you're in sort of like a like you're in a weird position where although like you're doing fine in terms of CS, but at the same time, like since you aren't really getting pressured that much in the lane, I would try to stack like this camp that's next to you, for example, and like try to just like increase like your farming efficiency.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And okay, just gonna watch it like in your perspective so I can like see exactly what you're doing.
Too many irons down the fire.
You were all
So I mean, like
I like
the main reason that you're actually like getting these kills is because Dusk is making like really good rotations. But apart from that, like
Radiant's
I
middle
can't really
tower is
comment
under
on much,
attack.
like based on the laning phase.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So I mean, one thing I've noticed so far is like you're very focused on your own like progression in the game, which obviously like you know makes a lot of sense. But it is a team game like at the end of the day, and you should kind of check in on your teammates like every now and then. So for example, so looking at your player perspective, right? You can clearly see that there's two heroes in the bottom lane from the enemy side. Now, regardless of whether, because you have a TP score as well, for example, right? Like, I know that it is like your role to keep farming in the lane, but let's say, for example, there's some easy kills that you can get that'll help you like with your farm as well, for example. It would be very beneficial for you to just like have a look at what's going on in the bottom side of the map, and you can like not only pressure the enemies but also like gain gold for killing the enemies itself. So
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
make some sort of movement outside of the mid lane. So in most games, and I'm sure you know this already, like when you do play a mid hero, you
Dire's
want
bottom
to
tower is under attack.
for most games like at least, like, you want to pick heroes that
Dire's
can
tower is under
have
attack.
impact like around the map, and not just like sit in mid.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, I think like the only issue with your rotation is that you let the mid tower go. Now wait, let me see if
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
I mean, it's not a big deal in this game because I think like most of the enemy heroes are playing very passive, so it doesn't really like impact your farm or the overall like game as such. Like given that you're Spectre,
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
More fuel for my fire.
Monster kill.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
see now here for example, right? The Razor's already used static link. I don't know if it's still, yeah, he's already used his static link. And Lena's really low on HP as well. And your Haunt is ready, like it's not on cooldown. And although it's very nice, and like your natural instinct as a carry or as a co-player is to like continue to hit creeps. It's really important that you pay some sort of attention to things like this that happen, right? Because these are easy kills. Like this is a very easy kill for you, given your you know, your global presence and the ability for you to like click on dagger right after that. So like Lena would definitely be dead right now if you had just used Haunt, and then you could easily like TP back to the mid lane if that's where you want to farm. And see, Tusk wasn't able to finish off the kill, unfortunately, but
Shadows take us.
yeah, this is something that like I would have definitely done, for example, right? Like I continuously like check the side lanes, especially like if there's heroes on the map that you can see, and try to make some sort of impact.
Thank you.
Radiant's middle
Your
tower
CSing is
under
fine. I
attack.
do think that you could like slightly improve your CSing, especially like when you're sitting in the lane by yourself, and there's no enemy hero in the lane. Like it should be much easier for you to like make sure that you get almost all of the last hits, if not all. Like let's say there's 4 creeps in total, right? Like in a single wave. So it's fine if you're getting at least like 3 out of the 4 when there's no other hero that's like trying to contest your CS. But if you're getting like, I don't think that's okay, especially because like you're trying to like rush Radiance in this game, for example, right? So yeah. what just happened.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Okay, so now you move to the bottom side of the map. Cool, that's a good rotation. But I would have expected you to like do it earlier, just because that makes a difference, right?
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And now you go back. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. Like, if I were you, I would have probably like just used my TP and like TP to that mid tower and then like continue to farm. But I mean, that works as well. Like if you see like some pro
Radiant's
players,
middle
like
tower is under
if you
attack.
watch what's his name, one of the Beast Coast players, I forget what it's called. Wait, let me just check it out. Beast Coast players. Yeah, I think it's Beast Coast K1, Hector. So he plays a lot of Wraith King, for example, and he really likes to like optimize the way he farms. So let's say like he makes a rotation here, right? Just and like because he sees that there's like kills on this side of the map. Once he's done like killing these heroes, he'll instantly like TP to the point where he knows like where he's supposed to farm, for example. And he's done this in like in TI games as well, right? Like, so let's say he's over here, he would immediately like TP to this side of the map just to like improve like his efficiency in like farming. So that's something like that you could keep in mind as well.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Cool, so you finally got your relic.
Let thy healing begin. Yes.
So I mean like I think it's okay for you to like go back to the mid lane and keep farming like this, but the only issue I have with that is you have no vision like in this like area of the map, and ideally a Spectre, because like since you are a mid laner in this game, you're like the easiest places or like the safest places for you to farm is like this area of the map, like in the jungle, and also this area of the map. But it's hard for you to do that if you don't have any vision. So I can see that like there is one observer ward in stock right now, and I know that usually like put up observers and like sentries, but since it is free, consider just like getting it and like placing it. Ideally, like where I would place it is probably here, like on this high ground, if you want to farm like this area of the map. But yeah, since your troll is already farming like the top jungle, like excuse me, this is probably like the best place for you to farm, and also like the mid lane. But you can't really do that until unless like you have vision, just to like make sure that you're not like getting ganked by your enemy heroes. and you make a rotation bottom, which is cool. I think that's fine.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, see now for example, like I would have immediately like TP'd either to base, just to like fully like recover, or like just like TP to the nearest like tower where I can farm. I don't think I've seen you like use your TP scroll so far. So just like try to like maximize your farm, you know.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And you got your radiance. It's cool.
Haste!
Okay.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Shadows. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That's for me.
Okay.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Monster kill.
Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Smart money.
Go for my offer.
Now you're just pushing the wave, which is fine because you can see 1, 2, 3 of the enemy heroes mid. So yeah, this is a good place for you to like farm and like push the lane as well. That's good.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Do again.
I think this is fine. Yeah, this is fine as well. So I mean, like, if this was a high MMR game, for example, when you're sitting alone at the bottom lane, like, and you see that there's 4 heroes missing on the map, you can see that there's 1 hero here on top, and Queen of Pain is like, you know, respawning in like 5 seconds. Usually you'd expect 3 of these heroes like Bara, Lina and Razor to like make a movement to the bottom lane and like try to gank you. So that's just something that like
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Okay, you finally use your TP to go top. Yeah, that's a good
That's
move.
just shoddy construction.
Especially since you just like took out the bottom tower. This is a good place for you to farm.
The ones you know. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Cool.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I mean,
Middle
it seems
tower
like
is under attack.
so far from the replay at least that overall like you guys do have a better team than the Radiant side. like if you notice, like from the start of the replay, like Dust made a decent amount of rotations in the early game, and I want to say that that's mostly why you guys had an upper edge in the game. And obviously, I think like you guys as a team are probably like just better than the other team.
Stop! Take me!
Back some snowballs. You'll be fine. That's for me.
So there's not much for me to say apart from that. Like I would really like try to just optimize my farm in the early game, for example, especially like if you're not getting ganked in the mid lane. Like I would just try to stack as many camps as possible. Like I would try to stack this camp if possible, and maybe this camp as well. Because I did notice that like there were times like when you were in the laning phase and like you were like it was kind of like it was a weird situation like where you didn't want to leave the lane, but you was like sitting on low health, so you couldn't really like contest the creeps either. So either you want to consider getting like more regen like in for you to like sustain the lane, or just like figure out if like just stacking camps, and then like coming back to the mid lane to like farm is something that like you can do. Yeah.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So I mean, so far it seems like the game is pretty much over, just because it's very hard for your enemies to like come back from the game.
Regeneration!
And I'm not really sure like about this Razor's item, but like it's very yeah. I mean you're level 23, and the highest enemy hero is like level 15, so the game's pretty much over, I think.
Radiant's
gonna
middle
fast forward
tower
this.
is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So like another thing that I want you to like take away from this is let's say 1 second. So I mean, if you can see, right, like the Lina knows that like he or she like didn't really do well in the lane, but if that's the case, like in a higher MMR pub, for example, like you would immediately have Razor like rotate to the lane, and like Lina would go to another lane, and from that point on, it would be very difficult for you to continue like farming or even just staying in the lane, just because Razor has static link and would steal almost all of your damage, and continue to like output damage to you as well. So in that scenario, for example, the best way for you to like optimize and like optimize your farm and continue to play your own game is by stacking camps. And finally like getting gold from those camps later on. So yeah, I mean, I see like the replay that you submitted is one where it was relatively easy for you. Like you didn't really have like much of an issue like in the laning phase, primarily because the Lina didn't know how to like harass you or like put pressure on you, and B, the enemy heroes, the pause 5 heroes like didn't really make like that many rotations to like pressure you. But in this scenario, right, like if Razor had come mid and just stayed mid, it would have been a lot more difficult for you to like continue to like farm in the lane. So that's something that you want to like keep in mind, and that's something like that you can do even if your game is going well. For example, like you can easily like stack these camps and maybe even this one, and just like increase your farm that way. But yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
No.
Radiant's
Yeah.
bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, it seems like the game is
Radiant's bottom tower. Radiant's middle barracks has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top barracks are under Radiant's top barracks has fallen. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
cool.
Radiant's ancient is
Seems
under
like that's it.
victory.
Yeah, I mean that's it, man. Like, I said this already, but like the main thing that I would want you to take away from this is probably like just trying to like maybe last it a little better like in the laning phase, and also like trying to secure creeps with your nukes. Usually like mid heroes, any hero for that matter would try to like secure especially the range creep with their nuke. In this case you have your spectral dagger, and I saw you use it much later in the laning phase, when it didn't really matter as much, especially like up until you get like level 5, 6 or 7. I would really like prioritize and like make sure to like just like optimize your farm with your spectral dagger. And also like trying to just be a little more aware of the map and like what's going on in the game. In this game, for example, like you didn't really have to worry about the side lanes as much, just because your allies were doing a really good job of like pressuring the enemies. But at least looking at the side lanes every now and then and like seeing what's going on makes a lot of difference like in the game. Yeah, I think that's about it. I know this is like a game where like things went really well for you, but yeah, maybe you can send like another replay as well where like it didn't go as well, just for me to like have a look at and like maybe give you like better like tips and like suggestions on like what you could do.